a compilation of information that I have put together in this booklet and submitted it to Brother Chris Johnson at Oh Bless. And so he and I have been working, alongside each other to really come up with some solutions for different problems that we're going to be encountering once we get into the Oblast era. So what's going on here again? So what really qualifies me to speak on this topic? I have over 35 years experience in the food industry, over 25 years experience in civic 501c organizations. My humble passion, upbringing, and my passion for caring and giving. Life's lesson taught to me by my parents, especially my mother. Benevolence rendered to me in life by my family members, friends, strangers, and government. So let's get into some definitions here. Exactly what is poverty? Simply put, poverty as used in this context is about not having enough money to meet basic needs, including food, clothing, and shelter. According to UNICEF, United Nations, for the children by 2030, 167 million children worldwide will be in extreme poverty. 167 million. And so let's get into another definition. Exactly what is hunger? According to the United Nations, it's a period of time when people go from entire days without eating due to lack of money, access to food, and other resources. The distress associated with food or malnourishment is eating fewer than 1,800 calories per day. 1,800 calories per day. Let's look at another definition. What is starvation? Starvation is a severe lack of food intake for a long period of time, not enough calories, which is fewer than 1,800 of any sort to keep up with the body's energy needs. So let's look at another definition. What is food security? When people have consistent and adequate access to nutritious food, they are considered food secured. Let me say that again. When people have consistent and adequate access to nutritious food, they are considered food secured. What about food insecurity? This is a condition of not having access to sufficient food or food of adequate quality to meet one's basic needs. More than 800 million people live every day in this condition. More than 8 million people live every day in this condition of food insecurity. Now, let's take a look at these grim statistics from the UN report of 2021. 826 million people affected by hunger in 2021. 46 million more than 2020, and 150 million more than 2019. Roughly 2.3 billion people in the world, which is 29.3% of the population, were moderately food insecure in 2021, 350 million more than the pre-COVID period. Nearly 924 million people, which is 11.7% of the population, face food insecurity at several levels, an increase of 207 million in 2 years. Now, let's look at who are mainly affected. In 2021, 9.8% of the world's population were affected. 9.8%. Roughly 2.3 billion were insecure in 2021. 350 million more compared to the pre-COVID period. Nearly 92,924 million people, which is 11.7% of the global population, face food insecurity in 2021, an increase of over 207 million in 2 years. So let's look at who is affected, the gender gap, based on a 2021 UN report. In 2021, 31.9% of women were moderately or severely food insecure. Within the same period of time, 27.6% of men are moderately or severely food insecure, a gap of more than 4% compared to 2020. According to the World Health Organization, 11 billion people die every year due to unhealthy diets. Let me repeat that one. 11 million people die every year due to unhealthy diets. And let's just look at the little kids who are mostly affected. 45% of children's deaths worldwide are due to severe hunger. 45% of children's deaths worldwide are due to severe hunger. Severe hunger takes children's lives.
Thank you, Cry.
When children have enough food, their brains and bodies suffer. They stop growing, learning, and reaching their full potential. 149 million children under the age of 5 experience stunt growth and development due to chronic lack of nutritious nutrients in their diet, and while 39 million were overweight. Without treatment, severe hunger can take children's lives. With the right tools, care, and management, we can save lives. So, what is the root cause of hunger? Our world is really hungry. But should it be really that way? The planet produces enough food to feed the entire world. The planet produces enough food to feed the entire world. Yet, more than 3 billion people can't afford to eat a healthy diet. And the question is why? And let me read that sentence again. The planet produces enough food to feed the entire world, yet more than 3 billion people can't afford to eat a healthy diet. So why? Number one is poverty and starvation. Number two, inequity. Number three, wars and conflicts. And here's a big killer these days: climate change, corrupt government, and poor health systems. We look at in Somalia, one of the poorest countries on earth. The lack of rainfall and drought has been the worst in half a century. We have 43 million people died in 2022, half of them being children under the age of 5 years old. Then what happens after the drought? After the drought, then came rain and flash floods, displacing over 400,000 people and sparking dangerous outbreak of cholera. That's climate change is just one of them. Now, let's look at the brutal effects of climate change and poverty. According to the World Bank, climate change could force an additional 100 million people into extreme poverty over the next decade if urgent action is not taken, particularly on the part of high-income countries, to resolve the problem. 100 million people can be forced into extreme poverty over the next decade if urgent action is not taken, particularly on the part of high-income countries, to resolve the problem. Now, there's a lot of wars going on these days. War in the Middle East. You got a war in Ukraine going on right now. So let's look at the war in the Ukraine and the effects of the war in the Ukraine on hunger. Disruption of the international supply chain has created shortage and price escalation in staple cereals, grains, fertilizers, and energy. I don't know about what's going on in Singapore, but here in America, the price of grocery just escalated. Inflation is very inflationary when you go into the grocery store these days. And it's all because of the war going on over there, because that's where most of our, grains and cereals come from. According to the International Funds for Agricultural Development, this war will create a ripple effect, causing the current world's population of 11 million people dying from hunger to get even worse just because of this one war. So, we're here but here's a global projection for 2030 based on that US UN report. According to the UN report, hunger, nearly 670 million people, which is 8% of the world's population, will be facing hunger in 2030. Now we're talking about 7 years from now. According to the UN report on global hunger, nearly 670 million people, which is 8% of the world's population, will be facing hunger in 2030. So, Here comes Oh Bless to the rescue. Oh Bless, you people are very important to us. Everybody is important to Oh Bless. And passive global soldiers in Oh Bless are here to help in the fight to eradicate hunger and starvation. So the question is, are you one of them? Now, let's look at exactly what is Oh Bless. We talk about it all the time. I'm not sure if you had gone on the and passive website and check out and see exactly what is Oh Bless. Now, for those of us who will be working on large or even small projects for our community or for our country, please keep your mind set on Oh Bless. Let me repeat that. Your mind must be set on Oh Bless. Focus on giving, just like Mr. Asmafari teaches us. So, what is Oh Bless? Oh Bless is a non-profitable platform that helps to raise funds globally. And there are several answers. Oh Bless is a philanthropic platform that helps you connect causes that matters to you with the right people to support and realize them. Oh Bless is a platform that offers the crusading gateway to people who want to make a difference in the world. Oh Bless is a platform that connects people seeking financial assistance to people who are capable and willing to give. Oh Bless is unity. Oh Bless is love. Oh Bless is care. Oh Bless is joining hands and hearts together to lift up humanity and make this world a better place. And so let's look at the Oh Bless philosophy. We're not just here to give handouts, not just to offer handouts, but also to teach humanity to become more self-reliant. I think this is where I was, right? What is Oh Bless? And I went over this one. So the Oh Bless philosophy is not just to offer handouts, but also to teach humanity to become more self-reliant. Oh Bless is education, teaching people how to fish. Now, I put this picture up here for a reason. There's a food bank here in Central Florida, Orlando, where I live, called the Second Harvest Food Bank. And during my research, I made a visit to this institution, and oh man, it was so beautiful. I got a tour of it. And here they have a program that really teach people how to fish, because there are some of the former recipient of food from the food bank that are on their own now trying to make it. I'm making it on their own now, because this particular food bank has a 16-week course that teaches people culinary arts. So some of these recipients, they attended this class and they graduate with a diploma, and they are hired by local business people, like a local supermarket chain called Publix. They hire them to come in and work. They're hired by Walt Disney World, hired by Universal Studios. And so this is how you teach people how to fish, not just to handouts, but to get them to train them to be more self-reliant, to give them the necessary education that they can go out. And some of them even start their own business. And I think in my second report, I may be able to get someone from that food bank to come on here with me and tell you more about their institution. It's very, very nicely run. They help the community. They go out and feed the hunger. Obless is like the rainbow with many colors that signifies hope, that signifies unity, that signifies love, a better life to come. So, a rainbow is a symbol of hope in many cultures. In the Christian culture, for those of us who are Christians, it's a symbol that promises better time to come, promises hope, it promises love, it promises togetherness, it promises connecting people of all races, all cultures, all religions, to transform the world and make it a better place. So the next time you see a beautiful rainbow in the sky, think of it as oh bless. This particular picture here was taken by myself when I was on a trip to Jamaica for a funeral of my aunt, and I saw this beautiful rainbow in the sky, and it was so lovely that I just took a lot of shots. And then I started to look at the meaning of the rainbow. And that's how I connect the rainbow to oh bless, where we all come together unified, many colors, all are one, fighting this war against poverty and starvation. We must unite. So the next time you see a rainbow in the sky, think about oh bless. Now, we talk about what is oh bless. Well, let's think about what oh bless is not. Oh bless is not a crowdfunding company like GoFundMe here in the United States. Oh bless is not a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Oh bless is not a company where handouts are permanently dished out. That's not oh bless. Oh bless is here to teach people how to be self-reliant, and we rescue people when they deserve to be rescued. So there are three basic methods of fighting poverty and starvation. Number one, we search and rescue. And when we say we search and rescue, not just individuals, but it could be a whole community, it could be a whole country. And we feed for survival, then we educate and uplift. We teach people how to fish. So I'm going to bring to you now a very ironical situation. Now let's look at this map of this continent of Africa. Africa is the second largest continent in the world next to Asia. How is it that the richest continent in the world is ironically also the poorest continent? Currently, Africa holds investable wealth worth about $2.4 trillion in US dollars. Non-renewable natural resources such as gold, diamond, oil, natural gas, copper, uranium are mined in different parts of the continent. Almost every country has deposit of natural resources. Yet, it's one of the poorest continents in the world. Why is it? It's 3 times bigger than the United States, yet it's still the poorest. And these are all the conditions that cause these things: wars and conflict, inequity, climate change, poverty and starvation, corrupt government. These are all that cause all these problems.
Vittel, are you there? We lost you. Vittel, are you there?
I think he's frozen again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's frozen. Well, maybe he's coming back, but he's frozen. He was frozen.
Okay.
Looks like we have summer, autumn, winter here.
Are you hear me now?
Ah,
Are you hearing me now?
welcome back.
Welcome back.
I was I was um I was down to the slide. Did you hear the ones before this?
We have the eight poorest countries, and we stop there.
Okay. All right. So let's move on. That's where we stopped, right?
Yeah, eight
Yeah.
poorest.
All right. Good. Now let's look at Singapore GDP compared to those that I've just mentioned. It's jumping like crazy. Singapore is highly developed country with the highest GDP per capita in the world, $56,266. It's even higher than the US, which is $43,063 based on the GDP per capita. Singapore is the only country in Asia that is AAA rated with sovereign credit rating from all major credit rating agencies. Singapore. Singapore poverty rate, people earning less than $6.85 per day is forecast to be 2.5 million in 2023. 10% to 14% of Singaporeans struggle with severe financial issues and have problems affording their basic needs. Income Trends Report 2019 at 7.4% of working households are in absolute poverty. So let's take a look at the US poverty rate based on race and ethnicity. The official poverty rate in 2022 was 11.5%. which is 37 million people live in poverty. These are two of the world's richest countries we're talking about now. In 2022, 11.1% of Black families living below the poverty line here in the United States. In 2022, 8.6% of white lives below the poverty line here in the United States. And also that same year, 16.8% of Latinos, which is 10 million, live in poverty, right here in our own country. So what's the solution? No, oh, blessed to the rescue. That's the solution. Oh, blessed to the rescue. We rescue first. We then feed for survival. Then we uplift. Then we educate to inculcate a different mindset. Then we train. Then we make the world a better place. There are 4 basic facts about our blessers. We are compassionate and generous. We are resilient. We pay attention. And we are change maker. And when we say we are change maker, when things are difficult, we look for solutions. You know that doing nothing is often better than doing something is often better than doing nothing. We are incredibly lucky that we choose to join us and create a positive change for communities around the world. We are resilient. Despite the challenges daily life brings, you choose to learn how to help malnourished children and their families. It shows that you are resilient. You care for yourself while creating space and support for others. You pay attention. Our work doesn't always make the headlines. And sometimes it's sad, but it doesn't always make the headlines. But you seek to find out where people most need help. You are aware of global inequities and choose to look ahead instead of looking away. You are compassionate. You are a compassionate and generous person who deeply cares about other people. This is clear from your being part of our life-saving community. And you take action when someone needs your help. That's who our blessers are. So we can make a big difference by making changes. Somewhere in the world right now, there are people going to bed hungry. There are children dying from starvation. So let's help. Somewhere in the world right now, in the Caribbean where I'm from, there are children going to school hungry. So let's help. Somewhere in the world right now, in Europe, there are political corruption and wars. Let's try and help. Somewhere in Africa right now, thousands of people are displaced and dying from floods, drought, and many forms of diseases caused by climate change. Let's help. Somewhere in Singapore right now, there are homeless people on the street. Let's help. It will be because of us. It will be because of us, oh blessers, that we can help to eradicate poverty and starvation. It will be because of us that we can eradicate inequity. It will be because of us that we can put an end to wars and conflicts. It will be because of us that we can tackle the dilemma of climate change. It will be because of us that we can try and put an end to corruption. It will be because of us that we can improve the global healthcare system. Let me repeat. Oh, blessed is like the rainbow with many colors that signifies unity, hope, love, and a better life to come. It will be because of us, oh blessers, uniting like the rainbow, regardless of religion, regardless of race, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of the country of your birth, regardless of where you're from, that will make a difference. So here are 6 things that we can do right now. We can sponsor an orphan. We can become a volunteer. We can tackle climate change. We can help eradicate through education. We can help to end wars and conflict and corruption. And don't forget to donate to charitable organization. Now the Second Harvest Food Bank is, the CEO told me that 90 cents of every dollar donated to them goes towards the cause. You cannot say that much about many of these other organizations. So donate. Thanksgiving is coming up in the United States, and we donate to the food bank, and we help to feed people. We help to feed the hunger. In conclusion, let me read a poem to you, and the poem is entitled the proper state of mind." All it takes is a different state of mind. All it takes is a different mindset. So here's the poem I'm going to read to you. If you think you can, you can. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you think you will like to win, but you think you can't, it's almost a cinch. You won't. But in the world, you'll find success begins with a person's will. It's all in the mindset. For many a race is lost before a step is run, and many a person falls before his work begun. Think big, your deed will grow. Think small, you will fall behind. Think you can, you will. It's all in the state of mind. So if you think you are outclassed, you are. You have got to be sure of yourself before you can win a prize. Life's battle don't always go to the strong or the fastest man. Yet sooner or later, one who wins is the person who thinks he can. God bless you. Thank you very much for listening. Sorry about the interruptions. But it was a pleasure being here, being invited to be here. And I hoping the next time we'll overcome all these little problems and move on. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you so much, Vittel. We persevered and we got a good message. Thank you, Julie, for helping us to reset us, Julie. What a precious message. What a duty we carry with us for founders like us. What a calling. What a responsibility. Can we clear the, let me see. Okay. Okay, we're going to clear this and
Yes.
come back to the gallery.
Yeah. Thank you.
Can I get a few of us to share, sink in, share what we have received? Maybe I can get Vanette be the first one to support.
Remember, thanks so much. Great job, Brother Vittel. Instead of that buffering, you did your thing, you conquer.
Uh-huh.
We have big works on our hand. As founders, we have our hands full. We might not be able to eradicate poverty to the fullest, but we can make a big difference. We can make a big difference. It's such a shame that the richest countries are the poorest. That's merely suppression. That's mere suppression. So the World Social Summit identified poverty eradication as an ethical, social, political, and economic imperative of mankind and called on governments to address the root causes. But we know that fell on deaf ears. So that's where Unpassive comes in. This massive unicorn company called Unpassive, which are so blessed. We're so blessed to be a part of this massive unicorn company called Unpassive, where lives are going to be changed massively globally in many positive ways by uplifting humanity, eradicating poverty, and as you mentioned, Brother Vittel, instead of giving one a fish, you teach them how to fish.
Yep.
And in order to eradicate poverty, we need to educate children, provide clean water, ensure basic health care, empower men and women, little girls and boys, improve child nutrition, support environmental programs, reach children in conflict, and prevent child marriage. So we have our hands full, and Passive will be the global reset to eradicating and uplifting humanity. So great job. Thank you so much. Thanks, neighbor.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone who want to volunteer to share the conviction of what Brother Vittel have shared? Anyone want to volunteer to share before I pick a couple of person? Anyone? Who? John?
Yes,
John?
yes, thank you. I think, of course, we all can do something about this, and we have Bless. I would just say that start thinking now. We can all do something. Myself, I've already involved in several, shall I say, Bless movements that we've all been made aware of as we've listened earlier at various webinars, like the Bless webinars that used to occur. Also, Milo, very much on his shows, would have folks come on and tend to do with various movements and causes that they have a passion for. A lot of these folks have already started to organize thoughts and actions in their minds. And myself, what I've done is I've started to look into various movements or or passions that some folks have already described to us. And that's something we can all do. You can all do. That's what I would encourage you all to do. Start thinking now. If you already know of, or to look into others that they're going to be dealing with that would deal with this very thing that we're speaking, Vittel has told us about today specifically. And like I said, I've already started to at least get engaged and become involved in a few movements and passions. One, for example, I'll just mention is One Global Movement. And then also Milo started something he calls Global World Changers. These are all things that any of us can look into that to decide what we're going to do as we move forward. That's all I'm going to say is I want to encourage everybody to start thinking about it now to what you might get or may get or should get or we will get involved with as we move forward in Unpassive. So that's all I'm going to say. Thanks a lot, folks.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Yes, I would like to open this time from now for the next 15 minutes or so, pardon my voice, till 11 o'clock to open up for people to share how they feel about Brother Vittel's message. And Brother Vittel will come back to us for part 2 of this important subject on the 30th of this month. So today is part 1. He will share with us part 2 with greater gems and conviction, how to make the world a better place. So from now till 11 o'clock, let's open up for anyone who would like to share their point of view of what they have heard